Hey traders, Park here with another indicator. Today I'll be introducing you to the MACD sector power board rotation indicator. This is the indicator here in the bottom, and this is the S&P 500 here. So let me take down the S&P 500 and go into the actual indicator. So this is what the indicator actually looks like. So in your labels, you're gonna get, I'm using a few futures on these three right here and the VIX, but for the most part, for the futures, you're going to see the middle, you're going to see the name, you're going to see the actual ticker for this index or the stock or the sector, and you're going to see the MACD rating right here, and then you're going to see what it's doing within the cycle. So if you remember from my MACD video, I showed you the cycles of the MACD. Hold on. This is the cycles of the MACD. So you have ranging, rallying, retracing, reversing, and rebounding. So if it's ranging, it's between 50 and -50. And if it's rallying, it's above 50 and between 150. And it's considered strong momentum. But anything above 150 is considered overbought. And then on its way down, you have retracing, and that's coming back in. That's below 150 and between 50. And then below 50, below -50, you come into, and above -150, you come in reversing. And then from there, if you go below -150, it's considered oversold. And then you push back above -150 between 50, it's considered rebounding. And low momentum and range of conditions with strong momentum to the downside. So directional momentum. So those are the life cycle indicators for the MACD indicator. So as I said before, you can see where right now the S&P futures is ranging. Nasdaq is considered ranging, but it's below zero. That's why you're getting this red label for the Nasdaq. S&P futures is actually coming back up. And these labels are changing color according to the histogram and the value, where the value line is within those indices and stocks. Another unique feature that I added to this is this little icon that's showing the, as you say, reversing. It's trending down. That's what you get, this little square right here, or emoji just trending down. If it's overbought, you'll get this triangle as well, and you'll get the exact opposite for anything that's rallying. So this yellow line represents the difference between the value, MACD value of the offensive minus the defense. And this would be your signal line, just like the regular MACD, and then your histogram. So once again, this yellow line represents the value, the difference between the value of the offensive sectors minus the defensive sectors. So that's how I create this risk on, risk off MACD, MACD indicator here. So those are some of the features of the indicators. Of course, I put the range, I think the ranging lines right here, 40, 70. Anything above 70 is a stronger reading than anything just below 50 or above 70. Exact opposite. Anything above 70 is a stronger reading than below 50. I'm going to include the other video as well, where I got this information on the MACD video, MACD as well. So, and all the sectors are being sorted according to their MACD level. So, a rating for their MACDs. So right now we have healthcare as number 1, we have energy as number 2, and we have staples as number 3. And where's number 4? Utilities is number 4. They're all above zero, but some these three are considered range, and they're all considered defensive as well. So we go into the actual indicator. Oh, I forgot I put the VIX, the Bitcoin, gold, TOT, and the dollar as well. So those aren't going to be doing anything, but you also have this offensive. So the collective offensive sectors value is MACD value is 14.3 versus defensive value is 46.4, and that's why we're in the negative here. And the spread between is negative 60.7. Then the trend is reversing, so going to the downside, and the regimen it's a risk off. Trend is failing, so the failing trend. So we actually go into the actual indicator. You can go in there, you could change these different things as well, but these lines are going to go according to what the MACD is. You can see where you have the slow link, the ATR, this stands for LEN, stands for links. You have overbought and oversold levels. You can show the futures. You can shut those. These labels are overcrowding. You can always just shut them off. You can shut the futures off, shut the sectors off, shut the micros off as well. You don't have to have the risk dashboard showing or the regime. You can cut off the histogram as well. And then you have a zero line, and then those white lines are just those zone lines, and they're explained in the actual video as well. So your value, your signal, that just goes with the histogram. So excuse me. So let's bring back up the S&P 500 and get into some of the readings or some of the things that it showed, gave us some early warnings. So you can see right here, during December through, what is this, February, we were basically ranging. And we couldn't really get above or break above this high right here. And this is my channel indicator. I showed it in another video, but basically that's what it's showing. And we actually broke lower and continue to go lower right here. But the MACD had already shown you that it was trending down. The trend was already failing, and then it reversed or reverberated or came back up here. As you can see, before the actual stock, before the S&P 500 started to reverse, and then it started to just consolidate here. And then it finally pushed above as well, with the S&P 500 catching up as well with the MACD risk reward. I'm not risk reward, but the sector rotation power board indicator reversal as well. So we can look at this on the same aspect of the healthcare stocks as well. We can see everything is pushing above, and then we got our cross down here. I also include the crossings from the actual MACD V indicator as well. So they'll go away. These lines will go away as well. So you don't have so many things clogging up the actual indicator. So we can see from here, once everything was pushing down or pushing up, well, yeah, the S&P was pushing up, healthcare was pushing up. And you can see right here, this channel is based off of 42 days. And the stock market is open 252 days a week. 252 days a year. So 42 days represents 2 months. So that's what this channel indicates. A 2-month average high and average low of those 2 months. And then this middle line is your midpoint for that. And we can see where the healthcare actually touched the midpoint and pushed above and then broke above all these different areas of resistance that I had labeled out as well. But you can see when this defensive sector was trending up, our MACD or our risk MACD was actually trending down. And then we actually tried to push back above but couldn't, and got slammed back down with the MACD indicator. We actually did push above zero, but it came back down and below our signal line. So right now we can see the healthcare is the strongest. So normally what I would do is, because these stronger defensive sectors are strong, I would go and cut on or use my MACD scanner. That's the scanner right there. But use the MACD scanner and look for stocks that are trading with their MACD Vs above 70. So I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut the actual rotation indicator off, and I'm going to cut on our regular MACD indicator down here. So you can see where healthcare is actually overbought. Same where it was shown on our MACD rotation indicator. So I would actually come over here and go into scan. So I already have the MACD scanner loaded. One of the things that you can look at, anything that's in that MACD indicator, you can scan for anything reversing, rebounding, retracing, rallying, ranging, oversold, overbought, the squeezes. You can scan for anything that has those squeezes as well, and you can change the length that I have for the TTM squeeze as well. I have a length of 20. So right now I'm looking for the MACD line being is greater than or equal to 70, because that gives us a greater read on our power gauge for the MACD. So I have the stocks right now being the difference between the market, and I think I'm using the S&P 500 as my benchmark for the market. So all of these at the top, I don't know why these are black, Merc. But anyway, you can see they're all overbought. This one has, I think the highest rating I think I seen on here was 380. So EXAS. So yeah, there's this rating, and it's just doing this. This is something I wouldn't look to. I would look for something just crossing above 70. You can see right here. So all of those are trading above 70. So let's go back into it and let's look for anything that has crossed above 70 in our scanning within the healthcare stocks, intersect with healthcare. And that's TRVI. And it's actually red on the day. TRVI. You can see here when it had a reading above 70, it had a cross up, rally, reversed, not reversed, but retraced for a minute, and then it started ranging here, and then it started rallying again. So, but it has not crossed below 0 though, so it's still positive. But this is where you're gonna run to issue right here. This is a shooting star doji. Basically, buyers pushed it up, but sellers sold it all the way back down. But it's on weak volume, and this is the thing that's making the candles change is my relative volume indicator. And we can see right here, I think this is Wednesday, where we had a huge amount of volume above 2 deviations of its normal average volume. That's what this white candle represents right here. But you can see this last Friday, everything, it was a half a day. So I wouldn't consider this necessarily being a very bearish on the stock, but I would just wait for confirmation. Either the stock retracing possibly back here to its break up above resistance, or breaking above 13.78. So let's go back into it, and we can also look at was it XLK and XLC. XLK our technology sector. I apologize, blue for. Anyway, our technology sector. You can see right now it's considered just ranging. We had a cross down, but we don't look like we had anything go below 50. So we didn't go below 50, negative 50. So we don't have any of the other readings for the consider reversing or reversing. So, and you can see where our MACD indicator actually is curling up, but we're still in the ranging, and we're below our midpoint for our average 42-day high and low. What's the other one? XLC communications, and we're actually trending above our midpoint for the 40-day average high and low. We actually went bearish here on 11.5, or you could say 11.6, and started making these lower lows on a 42-day average low. And we actually did have a cross down, reversing, ranging, came back into it, then reversing again, and now we're rebounding. Where our signal line is above, our value line is above our signal line, and we're squeezing on the XLC. So, and TSM, Taiwan Semiconductors, these are just some technology stocks. Same situation here, we just started squeezing, and then squeeze got tighter, loosened up some, got even tighter. That's and then we're on a loose squeeze, but it's crossing above its signal line as well. So it's coming into some possibly coming into a bullish trend of what is it? Rebounding from our lows, or these lows right here. But one of the reasons why this cloud is holding, even though we did get a lower low, we did not get a lower close on average for the 42 days. That's what makes this actually breaks the line. This top line right here represents our average close, average lowest close for 42 days. And if the close actually breaks this, then this will go away and you get the red up there. Similar to here. Yeah. So we actually had a close break above its average highest close for the 42 days. And that's how this channel, price channel indicator works. It doesn't work necessarily with the lower low for the average 42-day period or whatever period you select. But that's one of the ways that I've looked for a lower close instead of just a lower low. To give me more indication of bullish and bearish. So XLE was another strong sector. I wouldn't say this one's strong. It's barely doing anything. I would say more so it's just ranging. It hasn't gone anywhere since here. Yeah, you had these peak aboves and this peak below, but I wouldn't consider that one. XLU, I wouldn't be looking for anything in there. We can come over to XLU. I would say yes here. So we want to use our scan. We can go to here, and we can go to utilities, and we're going to select all utilities, and we're going to sort them according to the market diff or its relative strength according to against the S&P 500. And we may want to. This one recently crossed above 70. So AEP. AEP, and where are we on our MACD level? We did have a push down below 0, below 50, and we've rebounded since that time period. We didn't cross above oversold, and now we're kind of just ranging above 70 here. But we're squeezing again, and that squeeze got tighter. So American Electric Power. So it could have a possibility of pushing back above, and you can see the histogram as well to continue on. So if I were to change this over to, let's say, the weekly, has it seen these levels before? Has not seen these levels before. So just like a lot of, I've heard from a lot of different traders, it's in blue sky territory. So you can say, or you can actually go down low, but I like this range here for this stock. It's just been ranging. It broke above, couldn't stay up there on the weekly chart, and this is what we're getting on our weekly rating for the MACD. We can see that it crossed above 0 here, and then it crossed back above, and now we're making higher highs on the MACD. You can see here's a higher low. Here's our low. Higher low and a higher low, and this high is kind of the same, but I can say it's a higher high, and here's your higher high on the MACD indicator. So this is looking good for this stock, but let's go look at some stocks that are actually above 70, greater than or equal to. We're gonna get that stock again, but we're looking at it on a daily aspect. So this one's overbought, and that was retracing. So these MDU could be a pullback. MDU. So let's do this. Let's look at this on a weekly. Let's see what it gives us. Here's Oklo. Oklo was a big star these last few months. Okay, hello. And on a weekly, it was still trending down. So Friday actually had a green week. Well, last week it had its first green week in the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. They had all red. Now we have a green week. So we're considered retracing, possibly pulling back, and it actually pulled back to this high or this range area right here that it made. And you can see these two candles. You had these lows, but the closes never went down there, or you could say the close went down there, but it actually settled above that this area, this range area right here. So Akla, so it's still energy, but they don't make any money. So, but it's still a high flyer, especially when you look at it over a long period of time. Because I actually owned this stock at 18 when it made this big move right here. I think I kind of sold it up here, bought it again, sold it somewhere up here, and I didn't buy it here. I bought it way up here up here and made some money. I also lost some money too. So, but for the most part, it was overbought in this area. Now it's you could say it's kind of sort of, it's still trending down on a weekly, and it's still retracing. So that's Aklo. Let's look at something. I shouldn't have even looked at that because it say reversing. NEE. That's one of the ones I did try and play. I lost money on it because I was trying to get in too early. And then I stopped looking at it because I started looking at some other stuff to try and make that money back. You can see right here it started squeezing, and you can see it was just ranging, and then it finally pushed above and finally got its close above this 85.69. You can see all these highs, so it's showing your area of resistance. And I think, yeah, I got that one on the 42. But anyway, that's where this resistance level was marked out. So I think it came from there. So we actually pushing our head above this water, above that range level. So you're probably looking at $90. Next would be our target. And then from there, you have your all-time highs, 93.73. So I didn't mean for this video to be this long, but I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to what I had to say. Once again, this has been the MACD power sector indicator. So let's stop this and bring this one back up and shut this one down. And I'm just going to go back to the SPY on the daily. But that's basically how you use this indicator. It's going to point you in the direction of those with the strongest MACD readings, and it's going to tell you, hey, we're bullish, or we're considered possibly bullish or bearish according to the MACD sector Powerball rotation indicator. And if you want this indicator, just look in the link in the description. I appreciate you guys listening to what I had to say. I hope it was helpful. I wish you the best, and God bless.